The situation in Ukraine has completely gotten out of control, and something needs to be done about it. This was stated by U.S. President Donald Trump during a closed meeting with Volodymyr Zelensky in The Hague. At least, that's what an anonymous source from Bloomberg, who was present during the conversation, claims. The meeting lasted about as long as a school lesson, around 45 minutes, and took place behind closed doors and without cameras. Even so, both our journalists and the American ones waited for the leaders to come out until the very last moment. More about the meeting itself and the final declaration of the 34th NATO summit, which is already coming to an end, will be reported by TSN's international correspondent Yana Slesarchuk, who has been working in the Netherlands this whole time.
We still have to piece together information about the meeting, which lasted quite a long time, bit by bit. I think this will continue here for a while longer. We don't even have confirmation of which leader insisted that the meeting be held without cameras. But the Americans waited next to us for an hour. They even had to clear seats in the hall for them later, where Donald Trump was supposed to hold a press conference. This happened even though the NATO leaders' meeting was delayed by an hour in the morning precisely because Trump turned his bilateral meeting with Secretary General Rutte into an impromptu briefing. In short, this is how the president of Ukraine is describing the meeting so far. And we haven't received any more information from the Ukrainian side.
It was a long and substantive meeting with President Trump. We covered all the truly important issues. I thank Mr. President. Thank you to the United States. We talked about how to achieve a ceasefire and real peace. We discussed how to protect our people. We appreciate the attention and willingness to help bring peace closer.
At the press conference, the American president said verbatim, "Zelensky was very nice, as always. It was a great meeting. I will talk to Putin about ending the war." And he continues.
I did not discuss a ceasefire with Zelensky. I just wanted to see how he was doing.
Then he repeats, there never would have been a war if he had been president. That's Trump's favorite phrase. He's asked here, but you've already been president for a whole 5 months, and Russia is still continuing the war. Here's his reaction.
My words about ending the war in Ukraine in 24 hours, of course, were sarcastic. Putin is a more complicated person. I also had problems with Zelensky. This is the most complicated war.
Immediately after that, a critically important question for Ukraine is raised about the Patriots, which we desperately need for our defense. And it comes from the wife of a serviceman.
Are you living in Ukraine right now?
My husband is there, and I'm in Warsaw with the kids, because he wanted me to leave.
Is your husband in the military?
Yes, he's a serviceman.
Is he there now?
Yes.
That's sad and difficult. Here's what I'll tell you. They really want these systems, the Patriots. We'll see if we can get a few. They're hard to get. We need them too. We're also supplying them to Israel. They're very effective, 100%. It's hard to believe, and they want them more than anything. That's a very good question, and I wish you luck. I can see how upsetting this is for you. Say hi to your husband.
Well, I'll say a few words about the summit's final declaration. It's brief. As I announced from the very beginning, it has 5 points. The first emphasizes that all member states are committed to collective defense as enshrined in Article 5. And this is not just a formality, given the Russian threat, especially considering that former U.S. President Trump previously suggested that Article 5 could be interpreted in different ways. In short, the confirmation that an attack on one NATO member is considered an attack on all was very much needed by the Allies. In the second point, Russia was named as a threat, and there was a pledge to increase defense spending to 5% of GDP by 2035. In the third point, these 5% are broken down into 3.5% for defense and 1.5% for infrastructure. In this same point, the Allies reaffirmed their readiness to continue supporting Ukraine, whose security is important for the alliance. So, military aid to Ukraine is equated with defense spending. The fourth point proposes more active trading of defense technologies among the Allies. It is formulated quite generally. And the fifth point designates the next countries where the summits will be held. Next year it will be Turkey, and after that, Albania. Reporting from The Hague, Yana Slesarchuk, Andriy Marchenko, TFN. 1+1.